Oh, cool. It looks like there's a new dating website out there. How exciting.
We launched Z-Date. It's like Tinder, but you can match based on shared war crimes.
White sand.
I bet it's only for the chosen people. This as these type of ridiculous AI videos and criticisms of the Israeli state are hitting at an all-time high, as even Donald Trump had private back-channeling conversations with some of his donors saying, hey guys, my base isn't too happy with me. All of this as Tim Dillon came out and released just a scattering criticism of our current state of affairs in the most comedic of ways, which we're going to be playing here in this particular video. This as right now, we are losing trade deals, we're losing international support, we're losing resolutions and peace deals and negotiations, as people are asking, why are we doing all of this? As even some hardened Israeli supporters are now saying, guys, enough is enough here. I think we should try to, focus in on maybe making America great again. We're going to get into all of that and a lot more all here on this independent media broadcast. If you appreciate these type of videos, we need your support. So subscribe, click the notification button. I cannot express how important that is, especially right now during these very crazy, insane, troubling times. As of course, a lot of people take it too far. A lot of people don't take it far enough. There's also a chilling effect. There's also a lot of people afraid. I think we should be able to have legitimate adult conversations about these issues without sprawling into these insane diatribes that seem to be dominating the conversation here. Now, let's just get right into it. As of course, Donald Trump has been going above and beyond for the Israeli state, as Trump vows to be best friends with Israeli Americans, as Americans who criticize the Israeli state and have legally come into the United States, fill out all the proper paperwork, and are in the process of either becoming legal residents or citizens, are deported back to their country. There's huge mega fights happening with, quote, public institutions of learning, which I'm not the biggest fan of, specifically with their alleged hatred, which I don't think is hatred at all. I think we should be able to have a free and open, honest conversation here. And sadly, a lot of people have been preventing that from happening, as of course, we have to understand here that Donald Trump is realizing, hey, the goalpost is shifting. The support for the Israeli state, especially amongst the young American conservatives, is winding down. It's not as fervent as it is with the boomer classes. 10 months ago, Trump was bemoaning the lack of support for Jewish voters as he blames the, quote, Democratic curse. And let's be honest with ourselves, the Israeli state, Bibi Netanyahu, haven't been the best of friends to Donald Trump, especially with their past previous behavior and multiple signs of disrespect towards Donald Trump. As Donald Trump is saying, why don't the Jewish people vote for me? I love the Jewish people. I'll do everything for the Jewish people. He has. And right now, when Donald Trump is in power, Bibi Netanyahu is nominating Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. Now, will that amount to anything? I don't know. Trump is even now telling his donors that the MAGA world is, quote, starting to hate Israel. No, you shouldn't hate anybody. It's just a point of time. Can we critique it? I think we should. I think it's more important than ever to critique what's going on right now. As of course, I think it's fair to assume here we have the hijacking of our government in exchange for the full perpetual support, no matter what the consequences, of one particular state, a state that is not America. As of course, we're ruining good trade deals because countries like Canada want to recognize the Palestinian state. There's a great trade deal that's going to work very wonderfully for the American people. And we're destroying it because Canada wants to destroy Palestine. What does that have to do with us and the American people and the American interests? As of course, here comes Tim Dillon, who hit it out of the park here. As even Robert Barnes, who previously was a major, Israeli supporter, says, in the last 3 months, the Trump administration has been very generous to its donors and very stingy to its voters. As Tim Dillon talked about how the start of the Trump administration really is kind of an auction, as the American people are in the far back, not getting much play.
funder of a pro-Israel politics and a prolific donor to Jewish causes. Adelson, 79, is carrying on a legacy she built with her late husband, casino magnate Sheldon Adelson. And she comes in and she's like, listen, I'm here. I'm giving you the money. And the money, because now let's just realize what the Trump administration has been.
Yeah. When you look back at it and you're like, oh, we're bombing other countries. We started off bombing Yemen. Then we started off with a disinformation campaign to help launch the attacks on Iran, which, by the way, I think had a very severe negative impact on getting and achieving peace inside of Ukraine. We're now pulling out all the stops here as there's a full-on DOJ investigation because there was a shove in a college and a name said, right? There's literally like, there's people that are now being federally investigated with the full might of the federal government, the DOJ and the FBI, because of a shove. Why? Well, the other person was the chosen person. Listen, and I hate saying like that because, like, listen, there's a two-tier justice system now, and the Donald Trump administration is codifying it, and it's bizarre and it's weird, and it's going to lead a lot of people to have a lot of resentment here, which, if there wasn't, there shouldn't be. And again, I'm not one for hate or resentment or just saying, all of you guys. No, but it is strange and weird what's happening. Before playing the full Tim Dillon clip, we wanted to remind you to check out wearechange.shop. Our first supplement was one that has helped me out the most personally when I was going through anxiety and panic attacks and had 3 double chins. Now I have 2. As the chill pill is ashwagandha. It is extremely powerful, especially for males. It boosts testosterone. My female friend recently was prescribed to this because she had a lot of stress, and it lowers your stress and cortisol levels. Now, you shouldn't do that artificially for too long. I think a month is the perfect amount of time because ashwagandha is an adaptogen. Now, other scientists and doctors say 3 months. Some people say 1 month. I rather just be on the safe side, and I use it for 1 month. But lower cortisol means less belly fat, less anxiety, less burnout, especially if you're dealing with challenging your body physically and your mind psychologically. If you're dealing with all those stresses, ashwagandha is amazing. As, of course, cortisol dropped by 27%. Stress scores dropped 44%. Participants reported better mood, energy, and libido. Boost that testosterone. I'm telling you guys, hey, I really like this stuff. And again, I only use it when I need to use it. That's what I recommend on wearechange.shop. And that's not good for my business. I could just say, take as much as you want all the time. Buy. No, I want to be honest. I want to be real with you guys. And this is something that's really, really incredible. As, of course, it has shown in a double-blind trial study in people who trained, in men and trained, that it boosted their testosterone 15%. Muscle strength improved in both bench and leg press. Body fat percentage drop, all from 600 milligrams of ashwagandha. We have double that, so just be careful here. Of course, there's also a study showing how it helps with sleep. Do your own homework and research before putting anything into your body, and just make sure you're taking the right supplements for you on a one-on-one individual basis. Wearechange.shop. Support your own independent health journey right now, and support this independent media broadcast at the same time. Now, let's go back to Tim Dillon here, who keeps describing the current situation that we're in here as our foreign policy, our domestic policy, our DOJ policy, I think it's fair to say, has been hijacked. And again, I think we always have to be careful here because a lot of people are like, it's all of those people. I would say no, because there's people protesting Bibi Netanyahu tremendously inside of Israel, right? So I don't think that's fair to say. All right, I would say the lobbyists from that particular country are extremely successfully lobbying, and I think one of the most successful lobbyist groups of our time, ever.
For the first 8 months, the Trump administration has basically been an auction. It's an auction. And everybody is submitting a bid on our country. Qatar, Israel, the American people are like far in the back going, hey, we up, hey. But it, Israel, Qatar, China,
the military-industrial complex, and the pharmaceutical industry also delving out a lot of money. Pfizer just announced a huge mega. The CEO of Pfizer just announced huge support for MAGA. I wonder why, as Alex Jones has come out and says that the threat of RFK Jr. being unleashed is something that's bringing in the big pharma donor class. And that's one of the reasons why we don't have the banning of pharma ads on television. That's one of the theories that people have here, and I think that's pretty conclusive here.
Everybody is trying to position themselves to basically get as much as they can.
Palantir, Amazon, Facebook, Google, all of them. And they're getting a lot. Let's just be honest with ourselves. They're getting a lot.
From the Trump administration. How much can we get? How much equity is in this guy before we throw him away?
Yeah, and that's the important aspect here, is that they're going to chew him up, spit him out, and the legacy, everything that was fought for, all of that, people are just going to look back at it and being like, wow, he took this position of power for what? Like, to get, like, and this is where it doesn't make sense, right? Where it's like, you did all of that, you sacrificed so much, only to go in there and to give the swamp monsters everything that they ever wanted? Why? I mean, there's so much when it comes to your legacy, when it comes to all the things that you did, all of the things that you united America on. And now you just go in there and now it's like, yeah, what do you want? How much money are you going to give me for that? Got it. Good. Deal. Deal's done. Right? And when you look at the kind of like initiatives financially that are being launched, it's like, when you see the crypto stuff,
before he doesn't matter anymore. He's already deflating. The poll numbers are collapsing. That big, beautiful bill may be the last
Yep. Listen, and that big, beautiful bill had a whole bunch of pork in it, had a whole bunch of waste, fraud, and the Deutsche team, they were told to shut up and go away. And they have, sadly. There was individuals, Kash Patel and others, that said, yeah, don't respond to Elon Musk. He wants you to write an email telling you what you did this week. You don't have to spend those 2 minutes just quickly writing what you did this week. You don't have to do that. And I'm like, why? What? That makes no sense at all. Tim Dillon also was talking about how brand equity was, oh my God, he went into Larry Ellison too and talked about, the big money deals that are being made behind the scenes here that are very huge, that are very powerful. And listen, I think it's fair to say that there's a lot of people that have a lot of very serious questions to what's going on right now, as there's even pro-Israeli Democrats that are trying to break with Netanyahu in order to stop the party's shift amongst the crisis that's happening amongst Gaza. I mean, the crisis is real. Charlie Kirk and Bibi are like, no crisis. There's no one starving. I don't know what you're talking about. Donald Trump actually came out and said, yeah, people are starving. It's horrible. It's really awful. Why did they go up against the president of the United States? I don't understand. I don't get it. Even pro-Israel Israel supporters like Robert Barnes are saying Netanyahu's just going too gosh darn far. As he tweeted, this is a classic example of what Marsheimer meant in the Israeli lobby. Israel first priorities that are counter-American interests. As Donald Trump says, wow, Canada just announced that it will be backing statehood for Palestine. That will make it very hard for us to make a trade deal with them. Oh, Canada. They had a great trade deal. And again, people are memeing here. And this is the type of sentiment that's being felt all around the internet. As right now, the Speaker of the House that has been carrying out Donald Trump's agenda and the lobbyist agenda very successfully. This guy is walking a very fine line. All right, this guy's definitely making sure that the donor class, the special interest class that buys off government, gets everything that they want. And Donald Trump, hey, Donald Trump wants you to stop that Epstein probe investigation. He'll do it as long as the donor class gets whatever they want. As Mike Johnson is today at the Western Wall, as he declared that America always will stand with Israel. I think it would be great if we stand with the American people first. That's just me. Okay, we can have our alliances. I mean, that's fine. But I think at a certain point, we got to ask ourselves, we're kind of like rolling out the red carpet here, but what are we getting?
Mike Johnson, the 56th Speaker of the House of Representatives in America. We're here with a delegation of members of the House. We're so grateful to be in Israel, particularly on this day, recognizing the destruction of the two temples and 2 times in history. But it is such a moving time for us to be here at the Wailing Wall. We've offered our prayers. We put our notes into the wall as just traditional. And we're so moved by the hospitality of the people and the great love of Israel. Our prayer is that America will always stand with Israel, and that we will we pray for the preservation and the peace of Jerusalem. That's what's...
There definitely hasn't been a lot of peace lately. Let's just be honest with ourselves, as a lot of people are talking about, specifically how, Bibi's political career hinges on the wars he's in. And I said that ever since October 7th. I said, hey, guys, all right now, because there was massive amounts of protests, massive amounts of people saying, hey, Bibi's needs to face these corruption charges. He needs to go to court. He needs to step down. And massive, huge protests of the Israeli Jewish people saying, I don't want this guy in power. And then October 7th happened, and it's like, okay, now he has the perfect excuse. As long as there's a war, a very similar situation to Zelensky, I'm staying in power forever. Corruption proceedings? What corruption proceedings? We'll postpone those. And they have been for a very long time here. Now, MTG is one of the few members of Congress that has been actually being able to kind of speak out here about some of this. And she even proposed legislation that even AOC was too afraid to vote yes on, specifically when it came to, of course, cutting support for us overwhelmingly spending our money on perpetuating this perpetual war state inside of Israel right now that is continuing, expanding, and growing these conflicts inside of the Middle East there. As there's a lot of hubris, too, as individuals like Mark Levin are saying that 1,000 Israeli soldiers dying in Gaza is like tens of thousands of American soldiers dying. As he literally said, Israeli lives simply just have more value than yours, America. That's the
know how many IDFs?
That's the type of thinking that is exemplified here. Now, he didn't say that last part. He said this part. Well, I'll just play the full clip to be fully honest with you. I didn't see the end of the quotation marks here.
Soldiers it's lost? No, you don't. Why? Because the American media doesn't give a damn. The Western media doesn't give a damn. Who are these IDF soldiers? They're young men and women. They're the citizens of Israel. They come out of the restaurants and cafes. They're plumbers, they're electricians, they're truck drivers, they're doctors and nurses. They're regular people. How many of them have died? Nobody wants to know. Almost 1,000. Well, Mark, 1,000? It's a nation of 9 million people. That would be like tens of thousands of our soldiers dying, on top of tens and tens of thousands of Israelis who were slaughtered by Hamas.
Now, I think he's just trying to make a population comparison, to be fair here. I think that last extrapolation here by Chris Manaha is a little bit of a stretch. So, yeah, the Israelis do have a significantly small population. And obviously, them losing soldiers does have an impact on their population, as, of course, they are very sensitive towards losing their citizens because they just don't have enough. And they're surrounded by a huge population of people who are becoming more and more geopolitically opposed. Now, Candace Owens has some very kind of strong takes about this. I'm going to do a separate video about this one because I think it's important, as well as Ben Shapiro, as he's not happy about some countries recognizing the Israeli state here. Listen, there's a lot of stuff when it comes to this particular story that I think deserves nuanced conversation. Like that last part here, I think it's a little bit of a stretch here because I think he was just talking about populations. I mean, there's a lot of things Mark Levin says, but that one is whatever. It's not as important. But the sentiment, though, of a lot of these politicians, a lot of these media pundits, is that, who cares about America? We got to get ours first. We got to make sure our interests are taken care of. Our deals are made. And then, like, as Tim Dillon said, American people are like, hey, hi, yeah, can you help us? As of course, there's still extreme discrimination and racist policies in the corporate world against white people. Do we get a special name for that? Can we get a special commission on that? Nope. And I think that's where a lot of the kind of like uneasy sentiment is, because it's like, hey, can we try to take care? Can we try to make sure that we're on the even plane here? Because when we're not on the even plane, when someone is protected way more from lesser egregious actions, maybe then just not going all out of your way for it might be a good thing. Maybe treating people equally might be a good thing. If that gets me canceled, whatever. We are change.shop. I'll take some chill pills and I'll work harder. Thank you for supporting the shop. Thank you for supporting this independent media operation. If you thought I got anything wrong, let me know. Why? Down in the comment section below. I always appreciate a different perspective and being able to understand situations from a different angle. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.